Quasimodo, aka Humpty Dumpty. All right, that's your lawyer. All right, but I have a lawyer of myself too. Okay, and my lawyer did some digging in the crates. And guess what? You don't know about, or you should know though, because you should know the history of Scene and the fact that I and your uncle, the great uncle Triple C, we have intellectual property over this show. Intellectual property.
Wait.
And that means that while you, because us as the co-creators, while you can still be the host, because your lawyer did get you that much, we have the ability to be on this show anytime we want without you or your producer muting us or getting us off the show. So I can be on it anytime I want. And you have to deal with that now.
Let me get this straight. Hold on. Let me get this straight. So you pieces of monkey crap take the show away from me in the beginning. I take it back. Now you guys are telling me that you guys have intellectual property, which means that you can do the show.
Always. You're a bootleg lawyer. You didn't know that.
So let me get this straight. If that's the case, why couldn't you guys just politely ask for it? You know what? Besides all that, screw you, screw whatever the hell you're talking about.
No. Wait.
You're telling me I can't get rid of you?
I'm not done yet. So the deal is, here's the problem. So I've sat back the last 6 weeks and watched you guys just hemorrhage the ratings. Okay, let's be honest. Because the Uncle Triple C era flourished. The numbers doubled. The numbers tripled. The numbers were through the roof. The people wanted to watch Same. And now, just like in AEW women's segments, the people have been driven off. Okay? It's not good, all right? Because look, you have Nate over here. You have Nate over here who has the energy level of a coma patient. Just look at him, all right? And then
hey, too much on Peeps. Not too much on Peeps.
All right. This show sometimes is tougher to watch than a Death Rider segment. It's brutal, all right? Let's be honest, all right? And you, Phenomenal One, or should I say Phenomenal 2, as in Deuce, took a hot shit all over this show, okay? And that needs to come to an end because this show smells like shit, all right? This show is my baby, and you two have turned it into nothing more than a malnourished crack baby. That's what my show is right now. A crack baby crying on the streets, and I'm here to rescue it because the fans spoke. They hit me up in my DMs, Morton's Law Podcast on Instagram, and they said, bring the show back to what it was. We want you. We want Uncle Triple C. And I am here today to bring the show back.
It's so funny that people tend to go ahead and say what the hell I got to do with my show. But last time I checked, ratings on social media have been up. We literally just hit 145,000 views within 2 reels within the last 2 weeks. We've doubled within the numbers that Uncle Triple C brought in with followers. And now you mean to tell me that you guys want to leech off my back? When last time I checked, why isn't Morton's Law doing anything currently? Oh, that's right. That's the piece of shit you were referring. You know what? I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, as much as I would want to go ahead and take this hot sack of shit off my screen, Paige, what's going on? You know what? Let me not.
I have no idea.
So I can't get rid of you, right?
Cannot.
You know what? All right. Peeps, you know what? I've already ruined 9 minutes of my time here on a glorious Saturday having to go ahead and listen to this man speak.
Wait, let's be professional. Let's be professional and do a show and not kill off more numbers, all right? Because what you just provided was a bunch of fake news, okay? It's just fake news.
You know what? Ladies and gentlemen,
let's just get the show done. Let's get the show done.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, look, when you go ahead and you hear this sound, it means it's time for one thing and one thing only. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for Wrestling Crash Course. Fuck my life.
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
By the way, Nate looks old enough to be on an AEW segment with MJF. Almost old enough. We'll talk about that later.
What the hell is Peeps?
Same. Yes, it's the same. It's the same tired insults. It's going to be one of those shows, apparently.
All right.
So
you know what?
Let's go.
Like I alluded to in the beginning, Royal Rumble review. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the road.
And I can eat and drink anytime I want on this show with my intellectual property.
He can eat and drink because of his intellectual property, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So I can't really tell this. Okay.
Yeah.
Since Trump's inauguration, every single cracker wants to take over the earth. What the fuck? Ah! Anywho, Royal Rumble review, right? Peeps, Joe Hendry makes a debut. Alexa Bliss is back. John Cena gets eliminated from the Rumble, being the final man. And Jey Uso was the Royal Rumble winner. CM Punk gets eliminated by Logan Paul. Roman Reigns gets clapped by Seth Rollins and Chrome. Am I missing anything? What the heck is going on here?
I think what the plan is to try to make sure for all the people that have been on the internet wrestling community portals. I think the main thing is the complaint that everybody seems to have with every Royal Rumble is that either the same people win or they're booking matches ahead of time for a wrestler that should win or should have won or whatever is the case. I am actually happy that we got a Jey Uso win, and I think that we know why it happened. If anybody has over the last 8 months has seen the crowd reaction of Jey Uso, even going back to last year's WrestleMania shortly after that, the fans got Jey Uso that win at the Royal Rumble. And then all of the subsequent pieces that have happened around it have been added to that big win. I think that's what a lot of people are feeling. And a lot of people that are watching it, I think the ones that are in the crowd are kind of different from the ones that are looking at it through the internet and through social media. And I think that's what the sentiment is with Jey Uso's promo on Raw, talking about it with the fans.
Absolutely, peeps. Well, since this man down below, Mr. 411, is now going to be on the show.
How are you not happy to see me? You should be happy to see me. Okay.
I'm a bit happy. But look.
To piggyback off of Nature's thoughts, okay, to piggyback, while I'm not the biggest Yeet fan, because it kind of goes back to what I talk about with Seth Rollins and his music, if not so much for the Yeet, what popularity level is Jey Uso at? Because let's be real, his promo skills were amazing in the Bloodline storyline, without question. He took his career to another level with that. However, with the Yeet now, the promos have kind of dropped off. And mainly because he's blown up half the time from yeeting for 20 minutes. As we've seen on Raw and this past SmackDown, now they're doing encore yeets. So this man is exhausted. And I don't know, like the promos. Listen, did he have a better promo with Gunther? Yes, he did. It got better. It got better. So, listen, I had a conversation with your great uncle, by the way, last night. And we talked about, and listen, he disagrees with me. He's a big Heat fan, okay? He gets the Jey Uso thing. I don't so much, because I also think his work is sloppy. I think his ring work isn't that great. I was never a fan of the Usos' ring work. And you see it as you watch it. And listen, a lot of the fans, especially WWE people, they don't care so much about ring work. It's all about the presentation. It's all about the entertainment aspect of it, right? So that's why he's getting by. Now, people respect Gunther because they see the ring work. You don't have to call out, oh, there's something missing there. You see it. So, listen, this Royal Rumble was incredible. I love this particular match and how everything went down at the end. Did I love Jey Uso winning? No, but I get why he did. And there's so many storylines that came out of this. In fact, how about the storyline? Well, at least the news that broke with the whole Drew McIntyre LA Knight situation. That was pretty interesting. And people still are making YouTube videos about what LA Knight may or may not have done in the ring. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, it's crazy to say that. I have to say that I pretty much agree with almost everything you wholeheartedly just said, as much as it's ironic to. But when it comes down to the LA Knight and Drew McIntyre situation, I feel as if so much when it comes down to certain things that happen backstage, if some of us, I don't know if you watched SmackDown last night, but it's funny because LA Knight kind of alluded to that in his promo while speaking to Drew at the ramp, and he was like, "Excuse me, I just remembered I have to get my stuff in. Ladies and gentlemen, whose game is this?" He's like, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it and I'm like, simple professionalism, something that most individuals a part of a pissant company don't know about. I digress. Anywho.
Oh, there you go.
The fact of the matter is that, look, the fact that they can go ahead and handle professionalism, if we remember, look, LA Knight and Drew McIntyre, it's not like they're not familiar with each other. If you remember the Rising from Impact Wrestling, that was one faction alongside Mr. Tama Tonga alongside him. It's not like they're not familiar. Little many things like that can be bickered with. Although I see the situation differently, I feel as if it was Logan Paul's fault to begin with. Had he wasn't going ahead and taking so much time up in the ring within the spot that he was already doing, LA Knight was almost trying to go ahead and push him next to the apron to go ahead and make sure that, look, the pathway is cleared for Drew to go ahead and get that big spot within the match where he gets eliminated by Damian Priest. Everybody was kind of pissed, but for me, I kind of put the blame on Paul to begin with. But when it comes down to it, look, they put it aside. They seem like they talk about it, and they said to themselves, okay, you know what? Look, for the benefit of those people that read the dirt sheets and every single IWC fan, we're going to go ahead and make something of this on the next TV taping, which they did. I don't see it as too much. I don't see it as a problem. Look, I still think this is the year that Drew McIntyre gets his push. I think LA Knight's going to go ahead and still be around the mid-card scene, whether or not he goes ahead and gets released or not, the way that I'm seeing these releases happening by the drop of a fly. But when it comes down to the situation at the Rumble, I see it as just, look, it's water under the bridge. It's nothing too crazy.
And to your point, if CM Punk and Rollins can coexist in a ring, anybody can.
Exactly.
Yeah. They even played off of it in the match when during the triple threat yesterday, where there was a spot where Jimmy Uso was getting kicked in the corner by LA Knight, and what ended up happening is Drew came in and kind of sunned him in the back of the head by smacking him in the head, and he turned around and they looked like they had a cat fight. So they're playing along with what's a shoot and what is a work. And I think obviously the whole thing is worked, or they wouldn't be in the ring doing what they were doing so soon after what happened on last Saturday. So that's where they're going with it. And I think it works because that's a vessel to get them into a feud. If that works, then you got another match going.
I agree. Now, look, when it comes down to Charlotte Flair, what do you gentlemen think?
Listen, I'm with the audience on this one.
Okay. I thought I was the only one.
And the IWC, listen, everyone has been negative on Charlotte Flair for a long time now. People were happy when she left. She had go-away heat after she beat Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, she started getting that go-away heat. It's been there for a while. And listen, her ring work is incredible. Don't get me wrong, but I think people just have that feeling of, like, not so much nepotism to a degree with her last name and why she's in the position she's in, because she has earned it to a degree, right? But it's also, now we don't know what she's like behind the scenes. I don't know. I've never seen behind the scenes footage. If she's arrogant, if she's, Mercedes Monet, where she has to control everything, I don't know. But yeah, the fans just never bought in after a while. And I didn't get it. I didn't like it.
I think the placement of where the fans are with Charlotte is the fact that it doesn't ever seem like when she gets her push, she's earning it the way you've seen somebody like Bayley have a 3 or 4 month run where they build her up by starting from scratch to earn a title shot, or she has to go through some kind of steps to get to where she is to get her title shot. It seems almost always as if she's off television for a while, the second she comes back, they throw her into a title picture. Or she's going to win the Rumble. Oh, she's going to be in the Elimination Chamber. Or she's going to be in the main event. It seems like she hasn't, in the eyes of the fans, given them a chance to go on a ride with her to stardom, to get to a point where they can then cheer for her organically. It seems like she was just placed into the main event or placed into this spot. Not saying she doesn't deserve it, as we've all alluded to, but I think that's the perception, and the perception is reality.
In 25 years, that might have been the most poignant thing you've ever said. You just earn your money, whatever this man is paying you. That was incredible, I have to say. I mean, for someone
I'll earn it with my sip.
Yeah, enjoy your sip. That exactly. That's the thing. There's nothing with her there's no storyline where she has to fight her way up. There's no storyline where maybe she's broken. Not to go full broken, but something like that where she loses, where she loses a bunch of matches and then she has to change her character, change the way she is, do something different. You know what I mean? It's the same old Charlotte Flair.
Absolutely, and that's why I feel as if Tiffany Stratton will be going over if Charlotte chooses Tiffany Stratton, which I do believe is going to be the case. But within that sense, I digress. What is that? Second, third one of the day, peeps?
That's the third one.
Look at it. 19 minutes in.
3. Yeah.
Anywho, look, from there we go ahead and move to next topic, and this is something that's been brewing in the last 24 hours. WWE releases, ladies and gentlemen. There have been 8, and I repeat, 8. It was 7 this morning. It just turned into 8 about 20 minutes ago. Peeps, I'm gonna go ahead and give off these names, right? Paul Ellering, Akam and Razor of the AOP, Blair Davenport, Isla Dawn, Duke Hudson, Cedric Alexander, and the last one that I'm missing is Sonya Deville. Am I correct, peeps?
Yes.
Sonya. Oh wow, Sonya. See,
Yes.
I'm sad for Cedric and Sonya. And I mean, listen, how could you release a racist like Blair Davenport? I mean, she had a place on that show.
Oh, good grief.
I don't understand it. Maybe she could go form a tag team with Tessa Blanchard now and just beat up every black person.
Wow.
What? And Hulk Hogan's gonna beat her valet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pete, you're laughing at this?
It doesn't work for them.
You're laughing at his jokes, Pete.
It caught me off guard. I'm sorry. That one completely caught me off guard.
Maybe I should give into this. Should I, peeps?
I put it like this: if we're going to be professional, we might as well do it for the benefit of the show. That's the way I look at it.
For the fans, I guess so. You know what?
Yeah.
Okay. No problem.
Well, Cedric. Remember, Cedric had that great showing in the 205 Classic, and so Triple H signed him. And he hasn't done much, but he's a good worker. So I mean, he'll land somewhere.
I mean, aside from the fact that him and Mustafa Ali had the match of the night at WrestleMania 34, but hey, who am I? I'm just a 400-pound gorilla in the room.
There you go. It's interesting how Cedric, he talked about it on his social media page that he's been on and off in WWE for about 8.5 years. Hard to believe he's been in the company that long. Duke Hudson, we know he was part of Chase U and NXT. That went, I think it kind of went its course. They didn't have anything else for him. Kind of move on from there. Sonya Deville, she showed that she can be a forceful character, a believable character. When she came back, started this group with Zoe Stark and with Shayna Baszler. That looks like they kind of didn't know where they were going to go with that. They gave them a push, and then they kind of stagnated.
Peeps, the reason they didn't get the push and the reason that it wasn't received by the fans was because who the hell calls a group like that the Pure Fusion Collective?
It's one of the worst names ever.
You had the stud line right there, dead center. You could have made. Listen, the merch could have been amazing. The fans would have been behind it. Can you imagine fans going ahead and throwing up the ones for those three just because the stud line reigns true? I mean,
it almost sounds like Blue Oyster Cult. I mean, what can you do? It sounds like a bad 80s synth band. That's basically what it sounded like.
They made Heaven's Gate sound better.
It sounds like the Death Riders.
Good point. And there's no connection with that. Shayna Baszler had a built-in push when they brought her in from NXT, and they fumbled that and threw it away.
Vince.
Yes, Vince. Vince threw it away. He didn't know what to do with that, and it's ironic with all of these releases. They are part of that. Blair Davenport was part of that 2024 WWE draft. And the people that came from NXT that moved onto the main roster either all got hurt or they're all cut.
Yup.
Baron Corbin, Indy Hartwell, Kiana James, Dominic Dijakovic, Tegan Knox, Odyssey Jones. Either with controversy, being hurt, getting cut, or all of the above.
They need to bring back Kona Reeves.
Ladies and gentlemen, from what I'm hearing, there are more releases as you go ahead and talk about my lawyer like that, which is insane because he's currently actually watching the show and he's giving us some tips. And he's giving us some news. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson have been released by WWE alongside Giovanni Vinci.
I'm not surprised by the Vinci cut. I'm not surprised by Vinci.
Not either. But 11 now.
They repackaged him and then they just did nothing with him.
Well, they jobbed him out twice. He lost 2 matches. So what was the point of that?
Yeah, made no sense.
Are you guys
for whatever reason?
Are you guys aware of the Sonya Deville stalking situation?
Yes, absolutely.
So you know it was creepy? I want to say a month or so ago when she was on television, there was a sign in the crowd a woman was holding up. I don't know if you guys caught this, saying, "I will leave my husband for you. I love you, Sonya." And it was really came off as creepy considering she had already dealt with a stalker and that sign disappeared by like say 2. It was really, I don't know. Did you guys pick up on that?
Yup, I picked up on that.
Okay.
Jeez.
It sounds very similar to what Asuka's going through in her own personal life with fans that are stalking her.
Yeah,
she brought that up
personally. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Asuka's talked about how she has been stalked by fans approaching her not feeling safe. She said she went to WWE and Triple H, and then they're taking steps to kind of help protect her in her private life. She doesn't want any of that negative attention coming through. So there are protocols in place to help these kinds of things from happening. But yeah, this is the releases that we're hearing right now with WWE. It usually happens after WrestleMania. I guess Triple H is doing everything he can to be the complete antithesis of Vince in his releasing schedule. So to release people beforehand, but in such a huge way.
It's still Mania season. Vince just did it to Raw after WrestleMania. He's doing it. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to go ahead and be like Vince. I'm going to go ahead and do it before WrestleMania. I'll do it during WrestleMania. Like, Peach, it doesn't change. It still releases. No. We don't like to see it coming, but you know, long behold.
And some of these people are going to find jobs. They're going to go to probably AEW, maybe go to New Japan, maybe a couple may end up in TNA. So yeah, there are a lot of places that these talents can go when their 90-day clauses are expired. Or at least in Sonya Deville's case, it wasn't as much a firing as much as they're not going to renew her contract. So she probably will snap back.
But Peeps, you understand this though, right? Look, we already know Cedric Alexander is probably going to be joining the Hurt Syndicate. But the problem I have is that, you hear that, TK? You can actually release somebody if they want to be released and just give them a 90-day clause. It's that easy. I.e. Ray Phoenix. I digress.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Look. We wish them all the best in their future endeavors. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic here on Wrestling Crash Course. Ladies and gentlemen, Solo Sikoa is back. Yes, the Enforcer, Temu Bloodline Leader, great value Roman Reigns. Look, how can I put this? Yeah, he's back. If you watched SmackDown last night, you would know that after Cody Rhodes, went ahead and had his little mini match, whatever the case may be. Solo Sikoa, still in his infamous hoodie, enters the ring, cool little Samoan spike, takes off the hoodie, and reveals himself to the fans, which got a mega pop. Peeps, we know what this is going to be. I think we all know where this is going. Another match with Cody at Elimination Chamber. Jacob cost him the match. Solo versus Jacob at WrestleMania. That's just me. What are you guys thinking?
I'll throw this one to Chris, because I want to see where you think this is headed from what you've seen. What do you think?
Well, I'm not too sure, because it's intriguing to see like Solo being left off TV so long. Not to mention if you want to call it a Royal Rumble snub. I thought that would have been a good idea to bring him back there, but they didn't. So they're going in this direction, and I don't know. I mean, so you're saying he got the pop last night because I didn't see it. So
he got huge pop once he took he took off the hoodie. He got a huge pop.
Surprisingly,
so I guess. Well, him looking more like that Solo Sikoa versus the suit Solo Sikoa might get a better reaction because he looked too corporate for a while. So maybe him going back to being more like a savage, if you will, could get the people behind him. And I don't know. I'm a little surprised by that pop because I thought he was dying. So again, a little change could help. I'm not too sure where they're going to go with this, though. Nate, what do you think?
I think the fans felt apathy towards him because they looked at him as a wannabe Roman Reigns, as opposed to being the Solo Sikoa that was in NXT that was ripping heads off and beating people up, the Street Fighter guy, the NXT North American Champion guy, the guy that came up initially on the main roster and did what he did and show what kind of person he could be, because he wasn't talking as much the same way that they did with Jacob Fatu.
Right.
Now, if he can be the guy, the entity that they've seen him before, then maybe the fans can get behind him. But now it's a matter of which direction do they steer him and how it's going to be received going forward. I think that they've handled him almost with kid gloves up to the point where the Bloodline story really kind of exploded with him being the leader of the alternate Bloodline. Now that the Bloodline story seems to be pretty much dead and done, and he's finally evolved to where it is now, I think it's just a matter of where they go with Solo. And I think that the fans, I think they want to cheer him. I just wonder in what capacity do they see him as going forward.
Well, there was a line last night that stood out in the opening segment where Jacob Fatu with Jey Uso said something about bringing the title back to the family. So while we say the Bloodline story is dead, what if there's something more there in the future with what Jacob Fatu said last night? Did that catch your eye or ear, rather?
Yeah, it did. And it brings more attention to the fact that the Anoa'i family is still very strong roots related within that storyline and within the championship. And I think that we can probably say as a sure bet that within the next 18 months, that Jacob Fatu is going to have WWE gold around his waist because of the not only the push that they're giving him, but the fact that he is no longer attached to a bloodline, so to speak.
Well,
they've branched him out now. They've gotten him out and shown to the fans, this guy is, as you've heard me say a million times on this show, the man is special. And that's what the fans want to see.
For sure, 100%. Let's just hope there's no release with him coming in terms of the background check that they had to do on him, and everything that we heard about is. We all talked about that months ago. That we hope it's false, and we still hear they're investigating him. Correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything, that aspect of it is in limbo, but we hope that it's not anywhere near the things that have come out of that, and that he can continue on to the atmospheric rise that he has had in this company for the last, not even a whole year.
Yup.
The pop. Did you hear that pop when his music hit last night? That was a crazy pop. Like, I wasn't expecting that.
Yes.
He's loved. He's loved. I don't blame him. He's a great talent. But from there, it seems like that's the end of Wrestling Crash Course here.
No, it isn't. No, it's just not. It can't be. It can't be because
what are you talking about?
No, because we haven't talked about your lawyers, your Corey the Bootleg Lawyer's favorite company yet, AEW. And on this past Dynamite, if they could only sink lower, I don't know if that's the goal, to see how low they can possibly sink.
Wait, is he using my fucking ticker? Yo!
Wow.
So here's the deal. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, MJF, this segment with Dustin Rhodes. I mean, first, obviously, the segment didn't start with Dustin Rhodes, but it ended with Dustin Rhodes. And it was, again, painful to watch. Cringe. I mean, this promo that Dustin cut, and then the fans tried to get behind it a little. It was kind of like that sad, like, Jeff Jarrett promo, and they tried to get behind him, too. If you're going to do, and then MJF says, all elderly wrestling, everything about it is bad. No one wants to watch it. No one wants to watch it. Am I wrong? Dude, it just continues to get worse. And everything about this show, again, there's good wrestling, right? There's good wrestling. We can't deny that occasionally, right? When they're not killing each other. It's kind of almost like this show is like a car crash that can be boring sometimes. It's like, you're a mile away from the car crash, and then you drive up closer and you see nothing happen. Nobody died, and it's boring. Or in AEW's case, then there's that car crash where someone gets dropped in their neck and you want to see that. That's what this show is. It's so inconsistent, and it's a hard watch. It's a really hard watch. And I can't even get through the whole show sometimes because something is on it that makes me just go, But again, you know what? We're the fools. Remember, the 2,500 or 2,000 people in the crowd, there's 600,000 people watching. They're the ones that know how great this is. This show is amazing. It's, since the last great AEW show, this past Dynamite was even greater. It was amazing, but we're missing out because we don't get it.
You're absolutely right, Chris. As much as you're taking over, can I have my ticker back at least?
Maybe.
Thank you. Fine. Jeez.
Can I get to the ratings before we head
Steve,
to the break?
Steve,
Let me.
That's exactly what was gonna happen. You can go ahead
Yeah.
and get to the ratings.
Okay.
Chris, we appreciate the rant.
This actually goes to Chris's point of 605,000 people that watch AEW Dynamite, whereas NXT did 776,000, which is down from the 827 that they did last week.
Okay.
But the demo went up. So instead of 0.19, they did 0.20. So more people in the demo were watching NXT over the.
Yeah, but Nate, the AEW faithful will tell you that, and Dynamite went up 1,000, right? What was it, 604 last week?
They did 604 last week. They did 605 this week.
Oh wow, those extra eyeballs definitely making a difference.
You have Corey Richmond out here saying opinions are like assholes, and Chris definitely has an opinion. Jeez. And who in the... No!
Oh, boy.
You don't get to call this home, all right? You gave up on it. This is mine. No! This isn't home for you. What the heck? I'm about to pop a vet. Peeps, look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this marks the end of the first half of Same. When we come back, we're going to get to questions and the last topic of today's show. Please, guys, look, I see there's 136 of you guys in here. We appreciate you guys. We thank you guys. We appreciate the love. We want to reciprocate it back. Stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. The second half of Same is coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the second half of Same. Of course, I'm the phenomenal one. Alongside me is the Peep Snake, and down below is, of course, the returning Mr. 411. We're here to give you laughs, good times, and all the wrestling news possible. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate the love being shown currently today and almost every other day here on Saturday afternoon's main event. Whether you are watching on Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube, we appreciate the love. If you want to go ahead and follow us on our social media platforms, you can go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Saturday_main event. You can go ahead and follow us on Twitter /X at Saturday Main. And you can go ahead and follow us on TikTok at Saturday Afternoons ME. We have a lot of social media content being put out within the last couple of weeks. As I said, they're racking up views by the second, by the minute. People are commenting, people are resharing. You can be a part of that action too. Look, this is the part of the show where we go ahead and get to our questions. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you want to send in a question? All you got to do is one thing and one thing only. DM us on Instagram at Saturday_main event. Send it in, and in the words of the wrestling god, WWE Hall of Famer JBL, I guarantee you will be on the next episode of the show. Now, look, first one comes from Master Sean 007. He says, "Greetings, gentlemen. It's that time of year for the WWE Hall of Fame inductions. Owen Hart, since Vince McMahon isn't running the company, will his widow Martha Hart have a change of heart, or is the deal she has with AEW an ironclad contract?" All this talk about ironclad is making me sick. Anywho. And as far as the Super Bowl is concerned, I want Saquon Barkley to get his shine by getting himself a ring because my Giants did him dirty. Peeps, I think you can go ahead and agree with that last part. Chris is a Bears fan. He hasn't seen a bowl since '85.
It's going to be a long weekend.
Super Bowl in the last 17 years.
Yeah, thank God for Peyton Manning.
Oh, man.
Anywho, okay. Look, who wants to take this question?
I'll take the first. I'll take the first one.
Right, no problem.
As far as Owen Hart is concerned, he obviously should have been in the Hall of Fame decades ago. We know the reason why. We know what the litigation involved with Owen Hart's name and likenesses and all of those things that have been going on between Martha Hart and the Hart family and all of the legalities therein. afterwards. So we know what's preventing this from happening. It's been since, what is it, 1999?
Yep.
When it happened. So we are well a long ways past when the situation happened. And knowing that the AEW signing of the likenesses of Owen Hart and the Owen Hart tournament that they've been doing the last couple of years brings light to Owen Hart and to his family. The question is, does the family feel comfortable and confident enough that because of what the WWE is doing now, because of Vince not being part of the company anymore, in a physical sense, in a creative sense, in a marketing sense, does that have anything to do with the decisions going forward of how he gets in? If he gets in, who inducts him, if that's the case? And how do they handle it? Who's going to make the speech? How is it going to be received?
It has to be Brett, right? I mean,
I would hope it would be Brett, but for Brett, it might even be too. I think it would be too emotional for him, because remember, as he had explained, since he had his stroke, it's very hard for him to convey certain things without his emotions getting to him. So I don't know how he would even be able to get through a speech talking about his brother without him getting really choked up and having a hard time discussing it. I personally would probably think it might be his wife. Maybe Owen's kids would be part of it. I could see something like that. But yeah, I don't know if it happens anytime soon, but I think eventually at some point, maybe it does.
Got it. Well, Mr. Sean 007, we hope we answered the question to the best of our abilities on that one. Next one comes from Tombstone City Adam. He says, Rocky Maivia really ruined WrestleMania for us over a stupid Moana movie. What in the actual F? Okay, well, this seems more like a comment, but Chris, do you feel as if everything that's going on currently and the change in WrestleMania plans and what it seems like with Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble and, you know, possibly us getting Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns instead of Rock versus Roman Reigns and all these different changes in the system for WrestleMania, do you think it's all doing favor to The Rock going ahead and choosing not to show up?
Yeah, I mean, listen, while we're still going to get great matches and we're going to have a really amazing WrestleMania, there's no question about it. I think a lot of people are, in hindsight, are going to go, wait, but what if we did get Cody and The Rock, like people talked about, or Rock Reigns? And that's always going to be a thought. I feel like as a UFC fan over the years, there's always been fights that I've wanted to see that just didn't happen for whatever reason. Like GSP against Anderson Silva. And that could be the case here with The Rock. Now, whatever reason he did this, we talk about the movie, we talk about his age, the ability to work a singles match for extended period of time while he's still talented in the ring. Maybe he realized his limitations. I don't know, whatever the reason is. I do feel like we're going to lose out on that, and it's not going to hurt WrestleMania, that's for sure. But it's always going to make us think, like, what if?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And the tag match that he worked last year at Night One's main event was able to kind of hide some of that. He didn't have to go full bore. And as a singles competitor, he could take time off. He could tag in his partner and come in and then come out and then take a rest, so that you can kind of hide the negative but accentuate the positive. Being in a singles match, it's all him and all him alone. Does he feel confident enough that he can do that? Only he would know.
Of course. Well, from there we move to next question here on Saturday afternoon's main event. It comes from Hot Rod 316. He says, would you rather take 5 Braun Breaker spears, 10 Bronson Reed tsunamis, or 30 Gunther chops?
How about none of them?
Yeah.
Or
none of them. Yo, ISO Speed. Did ISO Speed recover yet?
Did they find the other half of his torso? I mean, he was split in half.
Yo.
That was. They even showed social media wise in the back with Triple H and Stephanie in the back, and they were talking about it. It's like, is he alive?
Is he all right?
Is he alive? His exact words is he alive?
We talk so much about the thunderous spear that Speed took.
Yes.
For me, it's more of the spear that Roman Reigns took at the hands of Braun Breaker.
Yes,
oh yeah.
Holy hell, that was thunderous. It was like I sat there and I was like, oh, the fact that they went ahead and pulled the same spot that they pulled for Roman at the 2014 Rumble with Batista, where he spears Batista and he went for the same throwing over, and instead he got thrown over, and they went for the same spot with Braun Breaker. But I sat there and I just looked at it and I was like, the fact that Roman Reigns kind of just no-sold that spear is just insane to me, because I don't think I'd be able to survive that spear. So we can already take 5 Braun Breaker spears off the mark. Yeah. You know what? Seth came back after a couple of months. Give me the Bronson Reed tsunamis. Maybe that isn't too bad.
I'll take the Volta chops. I can live with
30?
one lung. I can live with one lung. I think that's the case. If Bronson gives 10 tsunamis, by tsunami 2, we're already talking about slow singing and flower bringing. Taking 5 Braun Breaker spears, there's a wheelchair and crutches waiting for whoever's there.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I think is going on. Without question. If I have to pick out of those 3, I'll take the Volta chops. And I'm not selling it at all.
Nate, for you, it would be an honor to take the Volta chops. So while you would be in agony, you would appreciate it as the artist that is Volta, and you would enjoy the blood vessels ripping apart on your chest and the blood flow. By the way, if you're gonna quote songs, we got to go back to Stephanie and Triple H. Is he dead? What do you mean? Is he dead?
Oh, good grief! Oh, Lord. Yeah,
I didn't have me laughing at Mr. 401's joke here on my same bingo card for today.
Yes.
But you know what? It works. But Chris, for you, who, like, if you had to pick one at least, like.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
If you had to pick one, what would it be?
Oh, I don't have an answer. I don't want any of them.
Yeah. I don't think too many people do. Unless you're a sadomasochist, then the lesser of 3 evils.
Exactly.
You know what I'd rather take? I'd rather take an AEW forearm, because they don't come close to touching me.
Wow.
Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? What can I say? Jadenator Production says this is the last one. He says, "What's up, gentlemen? Hope you're doing well. I have to ask you, what is the craziest wrestling hot take you have heard ever? And by the way, is it just me or does Peeps Nature look like Neil Tyson?"
Yes, I am a nuclear physicist.
Neil Tyson is insane. Peeps,
yes,
you never stop catching strays. Good grief, man.
Yeah.
Holy hell! But craziest wrestling hot take you've ever heard.
Wow.
You know what? Damn, there's been so many, and I mean, like us, we've had to sit there and look at the IWC when it comes to certain wrestling hot takes, and it's like, okay, what the hell am I like? What am I looking at? How about if I say this is the best one, okay? This has to be the best one. Roman Reigns going over Undertaker at WrestleMania 33 was a singular match that Undertaker should have just left at that. There were people in the IWC that genuinely sat there and said that was a great match. Mind you, I was in middle school at the time. Ain't no way in hell I sat there and I said to myself that was a good match. And I think you guys who have seen so many countless wrestling matches over the years, Peeps, over the centuries, no offense, my friend.
Yeah.
But you see all these matches and you're sitting there, you're looking at that match and you're like, okay, for a 50-year-old Taker, this is not the way to go out. Other people said that was perfect. Guys, that's just me. That's probably my craziest wrestling hot take. How about you? How about you, gentlemen?
Well, for me, it would be any Dave Meltzer rating in which he says that Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega have better matches than Ric Flair or Ricky Steamboat. That's just absurd.
Yeah. I think we're probably on the same page in a bit. It's Meltzer is so polarizing with what he says. So, if anything,
he's lost his damn mind is what he's done.
Among other things, yeah. But anything that has anything to do with Dave Meltzer, especially within the last 10 years, probably. Yeah.
Kurt Angle having good matches, but not good enough to ever get a 5-star rating.
Oh my God. Yeah. Right.
That makes
We'll throw Will
that's one
Ospreay.
right there.
Will Ospreay has how many 5-star matches? 40? What is the number at?
43 and a half.
Nuts.
There you go.
Nuts. The scale broke. Listen, he broke the scale on the Omega Okada match, right? Broke the scale, and he didn't go fix it. He just continued to break it.
You'd think he would have borrowed from the Muda scale as far as blood is concerned, as far as judging matches at this point, because he's running out of stars. So
you would think so. You would think so. Such is life, right? But look, ladies and gentlemen, that marks the end of the questions here on Saturday afternoon's main event. We appreciate it. We look, the questions are always great. You want to send in more? Like I said, DM us on Instagram at Saturday afternoons_main event. Send in the question will be featured on the next episode of the show. But look, from what I'm seeing, we have about 9 minutes left, and I think we're going to go ahead and be able to go ahead and cover this with the 140 people that we have here on Same watching live. We appreciate you guys. I know Chris would go ahead and do this thing with the high guys. I don't know if he's so heelish that he's not going to go ahead and do it anymore, but oh hell. Anywho, last topic for today. We're going to talk about Def Rebel and their wacky-tacky creativity. Ladies and gentlemen, as for individuals who have been in the era of Jim Johnston, who was a wonderful composer of WWE theme songs. And then we moved into the era of CFOs, which, if we're being for real, their stat line when it came to AJ Styles, when it came to every single NXT talent ranging from Finn Balor to Drew McIntyre to Adam Cole, baby, to Bobby Roode. I mean, the list goes on. Asuka, Shinsuke, Sammy, KO.
Yes.
As much as I sit here today and we have to deal with Def Rebel, I don't blame WWE. I don't blame Vince. I don't blame Triple H. The only entity that I blame is the internet wrestling community, because you guys had something great in the CFOs, but because, all of their songs are pretty much 30-second loops. Guess what? You ruined it for everybody. Now we have to deal with stupid Def Rebel, who goes ahead and makes music for individuals, where now, if I sit there and I watch the Royal Rumble, here comes Finn Balor, and I don't even know that it's freaking Finn Balor.
You know what you can do? You have to wait until they say their name in the song beforehand, because that's all Def Rebel does for all of their theme songs. Think about that.
The only time that they didn't mess up on something is with the Samoans. How do you not mess up with the Samoans? You know why? Because Haku is in their corner, Pete. That's why.
Yes.
Anywho, Chris, what are your thoughts on Def Rebel? What do you think needs to happen? Do you see a change in the foreseeable future?
I'm going to be brutally honest here. I have no idea what the hell you guys are talking about.
The composers for WWE. You see, he doesn't even... That's how bad they are.
That's more of an indictment than anything else.
Look, do we even need to go further? But Chris, they're the composers for every single WWE theme song that has been produced within the last 3 to 4 years.
So people are being critical of the songs being produced, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not aware of any of this. I'm sorry.
Well, look, peeps, what are your thoughts?
The issue, pro wrestling has always been about presentation. It's always been about how you're perceived in the arena, through the camera, and it goes through your overall presentation, outfit, what you're wearing, how you interact with the fans, but even more so, probably more important than anything else, obviously, other than knowing how to actually wrestle, is what the fans can actually link to that wrestler as they're coming down to the ring. And if they come to the ring and they have a catchy theme song, you should be able to catch somebody and know who they are within half of a second of hearing a bar. You hear glass broken, you know it's Austin. If you smell, you know it's The Rock. If you hear also Sprock Zethursta, you know it's Ric Flair. You hear a gong, you know it's The Undertaker, and so on and so forth. And that's something that Jim Johnston always got, that you have to be able to catch somebody's ear. Ultimate Warrior's music plays, and you know it's the Warrior. You can identify with those wrestlers that come out based on that. And then you usually, if the music is good, whether the wrestler is good or bad, you're going to get some kind of reaction, good or bad. That's the difference between good wrestling music and great wrestling music, or just some also ran crackerjack whatever. And that's
or
what
Hulk
we've seen.
Hogan's. You familiar with Hulk Hogan's new song? I hate black America.
Oh Lord!
You guys heard that one?
Yeah.
Look at your-
I can't. This is one weird week. I just can't. But I will say this: the alternative to what's going on now, although Def Rebel, they have been maligned a lot over the last couple of years. They do have a couple of tracks that they've done that has worked for obvious reasons. Jey Uso and his music, which has caught everybody. Solo Sikoa's music has caught people. They know when they play, it's like, well, okay, that's good. But it's few and far between. We don't have a great deal of a catalog of really great, memorable music. And then when they do stumble on something that works, they change and do something different. Roman Reigns music, that worked.
Mm-hmm.
Slow and it grew to a crescendo, and then you got it. But that, like I said, it's few and far between.
No, while you're saying all this stuff, it makes me think about the music. And I don't think you're wrong. I don't think the people are wrong. However, is it really hurting anyone? Is it hurting anyone?
Genuinely, yeah, I think so.
Like, who do you think could be more over with better music?
Now, look at it this way. When we sat there and we got AJ Styles going ahead and kind of going into this lone wolf hybrid, leading into his match against LA Knight at WrestleMania. At WrestleMania, he got a new theme song. Let me just be frank with you. Now, Chris, do you think that did you like that theme song?
I don't remember it.
That's the point.
But
that's the point.
Let me ask you this. You watched the Royal Rumble this past weekend.
Yes.
And you heard They Don't Want None.
Right.
What was your initial reaction?
AJ's back. AJ's back. Right.
There you go.
Okay, so I genuinely do feel there are certain wrestlers that when you go ahead and you put the theme song behind them, it gives a more plausible effect. Now, if you went ahead and gave Finn Balor his old NXT theme,
okay,
don't you think fans would have been like, "Oh my gosh, it's Finn," and you would have sat there and fans would have just hit the at every single interval once the crescendo hit. Individuals like the Judgment Day, which Alter Bridge wasn't bad as, like spokespeople for the song. They changed that, and now it's some stupid tacky rap song that is literally like, what can I put it in? Like a rock genre? It sucks. There's certain wrestlers where you go ahead and you sit there now and you're just like, okay, where does it lie? Like, where do you stop? Where do you begin to go ahead and notice that your stuff stinks? You have to change it. You have to do something different. And it seems like the more that people are complaining and the more that people backstage are saying that they want to change their theme song back to what it originally was, look, it's a plausible change.
But isn't this a Triple H call? Can't Triple H just get rid of these people, hire new people, and go back to the original? So he has to be the one, or someone else.
So from what I'm hearing, the reason why CFOs left was because there was a money issue with them and Vince. Not sure if that can be resolved. I'm not sure how that can go ahead and go within the next couple of months, years. I don't know if it can ever even go ahead and go back. Of course, we've seen hell froze over how many times within the WWE, so anything's possible. But I want to know what it would take. Within Def Rebel, they can get rid of them, but who would you replace them with if not CFOs? And I don't know if Jim Johnston would even want to go ahead and come back to the company. Certain things like that where I'm just like, okay, what does it genuinely take? Well,
who else is out there? Are there other? I mean,
I'm pretty sure there are people out there that can do as good a job if they know aura and then write their music with that aura involved with them.
Well, I have a great idea. How about Triple H does what Tony Khan does? Let's pay for real music. Let's get some legit real music out there.
You know what? You know what? Listen, with Netflix, Saudi, Peacock, with like all these different other places going ahead and giving them sponsors and paying them for certain things, I don't think it would be bad to go ahead and expect like an actual real song as a person's
they used to do it.
Exactly. Like,
why is CM
can't be
Punk
that
doing
bad.
that positive? Let's get more people real music.
Like,
Yeah.
you get, like, I understand if it may just be a Legends thing where, okay, look, only person that kind of gets a real artist would be Undertaker with American Badass and Kid Rock. But hey, you know, I wouldn't be mad if, you know, what I could say, maybe, you know, if you went ahead and brought back, like, Metallica going ahead and spearheading some Judgment Day songs, or, you
that
know,
would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Can you just imagine, like, certain things like that? And I don't know how much the media rights can be to that. I don't know how much it can possibly be, but you know, it's things like that that you can go ahead and work with.
And it's not like the WWE is hurting for money either.
Right. We said the same thing at the same time.
Like,
they don't have money, and if they're gonna cut people, they have more money now to spend.
Yes.
Spend the money.
Yes.
They can do this with the Saudi money. The Saudi money alone, they can bring real music in.
Yes.
Jesus. Speaking of real music and speaking of songs as anything, that's the theme song to ECW, and I think because of that, that means this is the end of Saturday afternoon's main event. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for going ahead and tuning in. All 147 of you. We appreciate the love. We thank you guys for going ahead and tuning in. Look, we will be back next week alongside Mr. 411. Oh, jeez. This is gonna take some getting used to. But look,
how about this? Why don't we let Mr. 411 take us out then? Like, we're professional. Let's let him take us out then.
I'll take you out with a steel chair, old man.
and see, that's the thanks you get, peeps.
Yeah. You take it out. I did enough for it. I brought the people back today. You end it.
Oh boy.
You know what? All right. Look. All right, then. So me and Peeps Nation are ending it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this was Saturday afternoon's main event where I, the phenomenal one.
And I, the Peeps Nation, where we came.
We saw.
And in the words of the great Paul Heyman,
take us home, Peeps.
We conquered.
We conquered, ladies and gentlemen. It was a phenomenal one.
The pleasure was all yours, just so you know.
I'm the phenomenal one. Right next to me is the Peeps Nation. Down below is Mr. 411. This was same. Peace. Love. Farewell.